Fighter jets are a huge part in the entirety of aviation. They have all kinds of uses and are just really cool. In this video, we'll cover all the things you need to know about them and why. Jets have been around for a long time. The first one to fly was the Messerschmitt Me-262 with its first flight in 1941. Now, all these years later, we have this. Fighters that look more like rockets and carry vast amounts of guns and weapons. Now, what do these jets do that the old ones couldn't? We'll show you in this video, starting with the McDonnell Douglas Boeing F/A-18 Super Hornet. The McDonnell Douglas Boeing F/A-18 Super Hornet, aka the F-18, is a multi-role fighter from the US Air Force. Multi-role meaning it fulfills more than one role, carrying bombs or being an aircraft carrier version. It isn't the fastest of the bunch, but it serves its function really well. The range is pretty average with 3,300 kilometers or 2,050 miles. The length is 18 meters, almost 60 feet, which puts it right between the other jets of similar use. But these qualities come at a price. Not that big of a price as far as fighter jets come, but pretty big, at $69,900,000 US to be exact. You might think that this price is absolutely outrageous, but most airliners are far more expensive and fighter jets too. This jet is one of the 4th gen fighters, which shows its age. Let me explain. Fighter jets come in generations, starting logically with the 1st generation, moving to the 2nd generation and 3rd generations, and so on. The 1st generation was set at the last years of World War II, and as I said before, the Me-262 being the first one. As of now, the newest fighter jets in use are 5th gen, but the US Air Force, Northrop Grumman to be precise, are developing a new 6th gen aircraft, the Pt.1 Raider, which will likely be the first 6th gen out there. It is also our profile picture, by the way, the F-18. Moving on to a newer jet now. The Lockheed Martin F-22. The Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor, aka the F-22, is a fighter jet only operated by the US Air Force. It's really stealthy compared to the F-18 and it's designed for air supremacy or air superiority, which means it's superior to any other opponents in the air. Its max speed is 1,995 knots, that's double the speed of sound, which makes it one of the fastest ones. The first flight of the F-22 was in the year 1997, which makes it a 5th gen fighter jet. The length is a meter longer than the previous F-18 at 19 meters, and it's the editor's favorite jet. The F-22 is constantly compared to the next jet we are going to talk about, the Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II. The Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II is a multi-role fighter as well. It consists of 3 versions. The F-35A is the carrier version, the F-35B is the STOL bomber version, and the F-35C is the conventional landing one. This one is also the biggest of the 3, with a wingspan of almost 10 feet larger, range also being longer. The first flight of the F-35 was with the F-35A in the year 2006, and it was put into service in 2015, which also makes it a 5th gen fighter. The jet is available for all NATO members, but it still mostly is a US fighter, the newest and most modern one to be exact. This fact makes it the most overpowered and capable jet ever, with great radar capabilities, which makes detecting enemies very easy. It also is my favorite jet. But these capabilities and age do not apply to the next jet we are going to talk about, the Grumman F-14 Tomcat. The Grumman F-14 Tomcat, also known as the F-14 Tomcat, is one of the older ones in this video. Its first flight was in the year 1970, which makes it a 4th gen fighter. The range of the F-14 is almost 3,000 kilometers, and the price is around $38 million US, which is almost half the price of the F-18. The main feature of this jet is the wing sweep, which essentially moves the wing back or forward, resulting in a larger or shorter wingspan. This optimizes the plane's behavior for takeoff or in-flight maneuvers, which is a really useful feature, but still another thing that's would break and would need fixing. This drastic change changes the wingspan from 20 meters, or 64 feet, to almost half of that, 11 meters, or 38 feet. That's absolutely insane! Other than that, you could also see it in the both Top Gun movies. Our honorable mention, sorry if there are some mispronunciations, the Dassault Dornier Alpha jet. It is designed as a light attack and advanced trainer aircraft. The first flight was in the year 1973, so it is pretty old. It is also used by the Flying Bulls, Red Bull's aircraft display team. If you visit a Red Bull Aircraft Museum, there is a pretty high chance you will come across one of these aircraft. It is also used by many other display teams, such as the Brrrt. It is really popular in European air shows and displaying events. It isn't regularly used in combat and real-life situations and conflicts, so that's why it is a honorable mention. As I said, it is mainly used in display and air shows. It is also very popular as a trainer jet for new pilots. Now my second favorite jet. If you haven't guessed the jet by the sound, we are of course talking about the Virtual Republic A-10 Thunderbolt 2, aka the A-10 Warthog is like kind of a weird jet. Its engine are positioned at the tail of the plane, generating only a top speed of 365 knots. This is explained by it being made for air-to-surface fighting. The first A-10 flew in the year 1972 with the price of $11,800,000 US per unit, making it the cheapest ones on the list. This price also applies for the cost of operation per hour. It is only $6,000 US compared to the F-35B, that is a cost per hour of $3,000 US per hour. The main feature of this plane is the massive gun at the nose of the plane. It is very capable and very big. When you put it out of the plane, the gun is bigger than an average car. It shoots very big 30mm bullets, 10 times the size of a normal gun. The range also isn't that big, with around 1,200 kilometers or 800 miles. This makes the A-10 great for what it's made for, but for other types of uses, it severely underperforms. Now, let's move on to Europe with this next jet, the BAE Systems Eurofighter Typhoon. The BAE Systems Eurofighter Typhoon is a two-engine multi-role fighter. It was designed by the British Aerospace and Eats with its first flight in the year 1994. The top speed of the Typhoon is 1,550 miles per hour, or 2,500 kilometers an hour, and the range is around 1,800 miles, or 2,900 kilometers. The speed is great, but the range is not the best, yet its price is insane, $90 million US per unit. That is more than all of the previous planes. You could buy 9 A-10s for one Eurofighter. That doesn't make it really worth buying, but still belongs to the best European fighters. So compared to the other US fighters, the cost is often lower, yet the function and usability is the same. But the Eurofighter still has some pros, like its carry capacity. It has 13 hardpoints for carrying weapons on the wings, wingtips, and underneath the fuselage. You could carry a lot of guns in this plane. Now, one of the smallest jets on the list, BAE Systems Hawk T1. BAE Systems Hawk T1, or just the Hawk T1, is a mainly British jet. For its size, is really capable. With a length of only 12 meters, it's surprising that its range is relatively large, 1,520 kilometers. It weighs only 3.5 tons. Compare that to the F-18 with almost 15 tons, this fighter is a very light aircraft. It is also pretty old, with its first flight in the year 1974. The main operatives of the Hawk T1 are Royal Air Force Red Arrows, Indian Air Force, Finnish Air Force, the Royal Australian Air Force. With its one engine, it is capable of carrying many bullets or some air-to-air missiles. It is also a great pick for training new fighter pilots, like the Hawk T1. Cost of operation is very low. It is also really useful because it can seat 2 pilots. Let's move on from Europe to Asia. The Chengdu J-20, aka Mighty Dragon. The Chengdu J-20, aka Mighty Dragon, or just the Chengdu J-20, is a Chinese fighter jet. It is one of the first civilian fighters in the world, which means it's really new. First flight on 2011, it entered service in 2017. Top speed is around 2,700 kilometers an hour, or 1,677 miles per hour, and the range is 4,500 kilometers, or 2,800 miles. This fighter is comparable to the F-35 in many areas. Some the F-35 wins, and some the A-20 wins. It has a better radar, similar anti-detectable coating. Also, the small wing is just so handsome. It is capable of high load carrying and really powerful built-in weapons. Now, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget, this is a 2-part series. We will soon upload a new video continuing the series. If you are watching in the future, chances are has already been uploaded. I didn't want to give away much, but the next part is gonna be about cargo aircraft and bombers. Again, thanks for watching and see ya!